Welcome back to Hockey Canada's Rule of the Week, where each week we take a rule from the Hockey Canada rulebook and break it down for our officials, our coaches, and our players so they can better understand the rule and how it's applied in a game situation. We started the season on a hot, sunny day in Hollywood, California. So it only makes sense that we'd finish the season on a very cold, cloudy day in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. We are at Cape Spear National Historic Site. This is the most easterly point in North America. This week, we're going to talk about something that I've gotten a lot of requests for: canceling penalties, particularly penalties that are awarded at the same time. How do you cancel them? What's the procedure? I got a bunch of scenarios to show you for the last rule of the week of the season. Stay tuned. So before we get started, just a quick reminder that if you like this video, if you like the content on this page, please go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. That'll give you access to all the content we make and all the videos that we make throughout the season here at the Rule of the Week. So with that being said, let's talk a little bit about canceling penalties. First, let's talk about Mr. MOTO, M-O-T-O, which explains how we go about canceling penalties.
MOTO, or M-O-T-O, is the process we use to cancel penalties. The M means we cancel as many penalties as possible. So we want to cancel as many penalties on each side as possible. O means cancel in a way to make the team only one player short. Ideally, we want a team to only be one player short wherever possible. T, cancel in a way to avoid taking an extra player off the ice. So this comes up in a few scenarios that I'm going to go through shortly, but basically we want to avoid having to take an extra player off the ice to serve the penalty of a player who already has one. And finally, order of occurrence. So we want to cancel using the order of penalty occurrence or in the order that they were reported by the referee.
So that explains a little bit about what we need to do when canceling penalties. Now let's go through a couple of scenarios.
Our first example is pretty straightforward. A6 and A7 each have minor penalties, and B11 has a 2-minute minor penalty. So for all these examples, we are assuming that all the penalties are assessed at the same time. So in this case, we want to cancel as many as possible. And since A6 and A7, there are 2-minute penalties and only one on B11, we're going to cancel one on A6 and one on B11. A7 would serve the minor penalty as a time penalty because it's the order of occurrence, and A7's penalty was assessed after A6's, or at least reported that way on the game sheet. Now, A6 and B11 still go to the box. They still serve 2 minutes each, but there's no time goes up on the clock for them. So in this case, we're going to be playing 5-on-4 with Team A playing one player short for the 2-minute time penalty. A6 penalty is canceled due to order of occurrence. Canceled doesn't mean it's canceled, he doesn't serve it. It means he still goes in and serves the minor penalty. So in this case, after 2 minutes, A7 will come onto the ice right away, then play 5-on-5. A6 and B11 can return to the ice the first whistle after 2 minutes, because technically they're no longer serving time penalties, but they still have to serve their minor penalties. So in scenario 2, A6 has a minor penalty, A7 has a minor penalty, and B11 has a double minor penalty. Let's say they get a double minor penalty for butt ending, for example. Okay, so they have a 2 plus a 2. So this is why it's important to write this information down, because in a game situation, you would put 2 players in the box for Team A, number 6 and number 7, but only one in the box for Team B, number 11. And then you assume, okay, well, they'll just kind of come out when their time is up. That's not how this works. When canceling penalties, we write them down because in this case, we want to cancel again as many as possible. So we can cancel the 2 on A6 and the 2 on A7. They'll cancel the 2 plus 2 for B11. So what does this mean for the actual game? It means that we're actually going to play 5-on-5, full strength. This might be difficult to explain to coaches because they're saying, hey, that team got 2 players in the box, only got 1. Why aren't they sitting an extra player, et cetera, et cetera? This is how it actually works. It's immediate substitution, full strength. That's why in a multiple penalty situation, it's really important to write down the penalties on a sheet and then mark them off so you can actually determine who has to serve a penalty. In this case, if everyone would go in the box, they would serve their penalties, but there would be no time penalty in this scenario. Scenario 3 is a little interesting as well. So again, A6 and A7 have minor penalties each. Again, a reminder, all these penalties would be assessed at the same time. B11 has a minor penalty, but B14 has a double minor penalty. Let's say that's for slew footing 2 plus 2. So we want to cancel as many penalties as possible. So we have 3 2-minute penalties on the B side, 2 2-minute penalties on the A side. So in this case, we're going to cancel those 2 penalties for A, and which 2 penalties are we going to cancel for B? So if you said you would cancel the 2 on B14, you would be absolutely right. The reason we don't cancel the B11 first, order of occurrence is the last scenario that we actually look at when we cancel penalties. Before that is we want to avoid taking an extra player off the ice. So if you had canceled 1 on B11, and 1 on B14, that means you'd have to take another player from the ice to serve this minor penalty on B14. So we don't want to do that. We want to avoid taking that player from the ice. We're leaving one team short, and order of occurrence doesn't come in because the other factors are more important. So in this case, these folks are going to serve their minor penalties and come out the first whistle after 2 minutes. B14 is going to come out the first whistle after 4 minutes. But the only actual penalty that goes on the clock is 2 minutes to B11. In scenario 4, so A6 was assessed a 5 plus a GM plus a minor penalty. B7 was assessed a 2-minute minor, and B8 was assessed a 5 and a game misconduct. So in this case, A6 has a 5 and a 2-minute penalty we have to get rid of. We don't worry about the GMs. They cancel each other out. And in this case, B7 has a 2-minute penalty, and B8 has a 5-minute penalty. So we can actually cancel all of this out, and therefore they would be even strength, full strength, 5 on 5, and immediate substitution. In scenario 5, A3 has a minor penalty, A4 has a minor penalty, and A6 has a 5 and a GM. B7 has a minor penalty, and B8 has a 5 and a GM. So on the B side, we have a 2 and a 5 we can get rid of. On the A team, we have 2 2s and a 5. So that means we can get rid of the 5 in the games. Okay, we can do that. And we also have to get rid of one of those 2s on the A side. But which one is it? This is where order of occurrence comes in, because all the other factors are there. We've canceled as many as possible. We're avoid taking a player off the ice. We're going to leave the player of one team only one player short. And now we're down to order of occurrence. So A3 cancels with the B7, and A6 and B8, they cancel out as well. So again, in this case, because those players have left the game, A6 and B8, they actually won't be serving any penalty. They're just gone from the game. We don't have to put anyone in the penalty box to serve their major penalties because they're not. It's not on the clock. A3 would serve its minor penalty, and B7 would serve a minor penalty, but they can come out the first whistle after 2 minutes. And finally, A4 would actually have a 2-minute minor penalty. So Team A is going to play one player short for 2 minutes, and that is the A4 player will serve the time penalty because of order of occurrence. So in this last scenario, A6 has a 5 in a game plus 2 minutes, A7 has a 5 in a game, and B11 has a 5 in a game. So if we look at MOTO and the order in which we have to cancel penalties, first of all, we want to cancel as many as possible. That's not going to be a problem here. B11 has a 5 in a game, so we have a 5 in a game on the other side that we can cancel it with. We want to cancel in a way to make a team only one player short, which we can do here as well. We want to avoid taking an extra player off the ice. And then last but not least is order of occurrence. So the real question is, who do we take to match with that B11 5 in a game? Is it the A6 5 in a game, or is it the A7 5 in a game? Well, if we take the A6 5 in a game, what we're going to be left with is a minor penalty that someone is going to have to come and serve for A6. And we're going to have to bring another substitute on the ice to serve that 5-minute major for A7. We have to do that because A7 has already left the game because they got a game misconduct. This will mean that the team would actually play 5-on-3 with B being 5 on the ice and A having 3 players on the ice, because we'd have to take a substitute for A6 to serve the minor and a substitute for A7 to serve the major. This can all be avoided, though, if we do this. We cancel the 5 in a game for B11 and we cancel the 5 in a game for A7. What that means is we now only have to take one player from the ice. That player, the substitute for A6, will serve a 5-minute major plus the 2-minute minor. So team A will be down 5-on-4 for 7 minutes. In this case, because the major penalty and a minor penalty are at the same time, the major always has to be served first in that scenario. So this is why order of occurrence is last. If you had treated order of occurrence first, we'd be in a scenario where we're canceling A6's penalty. We don't want to do that because we have to look at the others first. So team A will play one player short for 7 minutes. A7 will cancel with B11 to place team A only one player short.
I hope that helps you understand a little bit more about how to cancel certain types of penalties. If you have any questions about this video or any of the videos in our series, please go ahead and send me an email. My contact information is below. You can also feel free to reach out to your association referee-in-chief. I'm sure they'll be happy to assist you as well. As this is the last video for this season, I'd like to thank everyone for watching the videos this year. The number of hits on the site increased exponentially. We had lots of great questions and comments and suggestions for videos for next season. We will come back for season 5 beginning in late September or early October next season. Thanks particularly to folks on the Facebook group set up by Josh Baggs in Newfoundland. He's done a great job with that. There's 4,000 members there. Lots of great questions and comments from folks there. If you want to learn more about officiating, or if you have any questions you want to throw out, the link below is there to the Facebook group. Please feel free to join. We'll be happy to have you join our officiating community. Until next season, have a safe and wonderful summer, and we'll see you back here real soon. All the best.